Greetings and welcome back to the lab, and welcome back to Musical Monday. Well, as it turns out, this is going to be a little different today because I tried doing some things off camera before doing a live. Well, actually, really, this is kind of take two because I recorded a bunch and I got a lot of video of a really disappointing outcome, so I'll spare you all of that. This is the new circuit board, which I've already discovered has its own set of problems. So I managed to put together one oscillator, got it what I thought was tuned. It may not actually be tuned. So I went back to the design software to correct some problems on it and add a couple of things that I realized I needed. And I've been discovering as I'm going through that there are naming conventions for how all of these are connected that are inconsistent, and possibly the wiring is not consistent. So even if I'd managed to get this to go perfectly on the first one, I probably would have had problems all the way across. So I am reworking it, and I will order another circuit board, be version 1.2. This was 1.1, which had corrections. So I'll get that ordered up. I'll get it finished. I'll triple check it. I'll order it, and then we can continue on from there once I get it to come in. I can still do some experiments with this board. I've got Junior's already done, which had its own problems. This is just a development process. It's going to take a few iterations to get it locked down to what I want, and really this is the core of the part of the core of the system. The keyboard itself, which if you're watching this for the first time, here's Senior, or the big boy, or whatever you want to call it. This is the keyboard that I developed all out of circuit board material. Now the snapping sound I'd like to get rid of. That's a project for a future date because this cost a bit of money to put together and the time for development and everything else. So I'm keeping it as is for now. There'll be like an overall version 2 at some point. And realistically, if you're not if you're outputting this through a louder sound system, you probably, nobody else is going to hear you clicking the keys. Actually, the black keys are relatively silent. The white keys are more noisy. But I've got plans for things that are going to change here. Enough of that, though. There's that, and then there's this. Actually, I'll show you. There's this, and the two plug together. Something like this. And so if you can imagine having 4 of these running across, there's an oscillator for every single key. So this is the plan. I also realize I probably need to put holes in here to kind of hold these together, otherwise it's very loose. Things that I've discovered in the last couple of days that I just hadn't really thought through. So version 2 is going to address a lot of that. But I got to get version 1. At some point I've got to just continue on. And so that's what I'm going to do with that. Now, I don't mean to turn this video into just a lot of talking about that. It does take time for the parts to come in. And speaking of the parts coming in, we've got more parts. And so I figure I'm going to do an unboxing here. Some of this is for Musical Monday. Some of it is for Freeform Friday. And rather than doing a bonus video in the middle of the week, I'll just show you what I've got here and kind of run through it quickly. So let's get this one open and see what we got. Now, I have a pretty good idea. There's quite a bit in here. A number of different things. Well, now that's interesting. I had ordered up 100 red LEDs. That doesn't look like 100. I'm guessing there's more packages. Okay, here's some blue LEDs. So this has to do with the DIY Christmas lights. Rather than using up my entire supply, I decided to order some new ones. And that is for these. I've got 4 of these I've already made in green, so that takes care of the green lights. ultimately, I'm going to have circuit boards of different colors with different color LEDs on them, and they're all going to hang together on a string, but more about that on Freeform Fridays. Let's see. Okay, this was... I was trying to figure out how to properly match impedance for the output of the keyboard, so that you could... Ultimately, I want to be able to drive a speaker with it. Now, I mean, I can drive a speaker natively with this circuitry, but what I want to do is I want to be able to knock that level down to what they call line level, so that I can use the line level to connect into a better amplifier, better speakers, and all of that. So I ordered a couple of items that should help me kind of figure some of that out, and this was one of them. This is an adapter that goes from, I guess, from the speaker level down to the line level out here, the RCA jacks. And so I'm going to take this apart and figure out how they actually did it. And rather than relying on just one design, there's another one in here somewhere. Yep, there it is. That would be this one, which is a circuit board with the parts. It's a kit, really. And I'm going to take that apart and figure it out and see how they line up. Okay, here's my yellow LEDs for the Christmas project. Okay, we've got some blue wire, which is escaping the package. We've got... What happened? Okay, I've got some more red LEDs. It's odd. It's like maybe they're 25 packs or something, and they gave me 4 of them. Huh. Alright, I'm getting ahead of myself. I've got some white... Are these... No, these aren't white. Oh, I bet you these are the purple LEDs. I thought, rather than doing a combination of red and blue, where red is typically around 2 volts and blue is around 3, why not just get some actual purple LEDs for the purple lights? And so there will be... I'm trying to get this thing open. I hate these bags that are like cut. They're not offset cut, so it's hard to... There we go. Get them open to figure that out. Let's see, is this the purple... It looks like it could be. You may not be able to see it on camera, but there's just a slight tinge of purple there. So I'm looking for a battery. Let's see if I can test this out, and well, it's probably a dead battery. I should probably get rid of that battery. There we go. Yeah, that's kind of a bluish purple. So I'll have to put one together and see. I'm going to have to drive it at a higher current than this battery is providing. Just see what I can do with it. So that may have been a mistake, but it was probably like 99 cents to buy 100 of them. So, and you know, I can always add it to my inventory. I did buy some, what is it, 3.5-inch jacks, like the headphone jacks. So that I could use with the audio-related stuff. See what else? More red LEDs. That is really unusual. But you know what? It's not that bad, because I can actually take them all, put them all in one bag, and then have the bags available for other little parts. And yellow wire. And is that it? Oh, one more. Yeah, more red. Oh, more red. I have to laugh at that, and I apologize for my voice. I'm getting over COVID, so... All right, well, that's one package. Let's get another. And this is likely to be circuit boards. And the manufacturer is not a sponsor, although if they want to sponsor me, I wouldn't mind shilling for them a little bit, because I've been getting a really good price, and the competition just can't seem to ship it as cheaply, and I've been ordering a lot of circuit boards. So if you guys want to help me out, I wouldn't mind. That would be JLC PCB. Alright, let's see. Now, this is probably going to be, I'm guessing, but I have been wrong before, red or black version of this circuit board. And the red is going to be for these red LEDs, and the black is actually for orange, which will be a combination of red and yellow. Because orange LEDs, for some reason, only seem to be included in mix packs, or if you buy a ridiculous amount or pay a crazy price. I just can't find them as commonly as the other colors. Yep, we got red. Let's take a quick look at these. Let me get rid of some packaging here. Is this the easy open packaging that always manages to trip me up? There is the notch. They always put the notch where the label is. Alright. Get rid of the silica pack before anybody decides to eat it. And here are the red circuit boards that you can see. It's the same design as the green, and that'll also give you a bit of a contrast. And it's the same basic idea without going into too much detail. There is an inner, a middle, and an outer circle. I can do a combination of circles, or I can do the individual circles like I did with the green. Bring these back in real quick. So these are middle, this is outer, and there's inner. So outer, middle, inner. I'm hoping that will come through on video, but I don't want to spend too much time on it. They have a little connector here, and another circuit board that I'm waiting for provides for that particular connector, so that I can wire chain a bunch of those connectors together and then hang them from those connectors. So I'm waiting for those to come in, but I don't think they're part of today's unboxing. And so there are these also, which, if that was the red, I'm guessing this will be the black. And yes, I do have a lot of these boxes now, but it also works out nicely that I can, if I have the boxes, I can keep all the red related stuff in one box. I can keep the black in one box. I can keep all the greens in another box. I can use these boxes for sorting, and because they're almost all the same size, I do have a couple that are not. Since they're almost the same size, they stack up neatly and they store well. So just a little tip: if you're buying a lot of circuit boards, keep the boxes. They might be useful. Yep, looks like we got the blacks. Black circuit boards, and they're in the vacuum pack. So this is going to be slightly more complicated to... Now, these are going to be on my website soon. I have been working on a bunch of stuff in parallel. There's also, actually, since this is Musical Monday, for this, I've been working on a calculator where you plug in what frequency you want, or you can tell it what note you want, and it knows what frequency that is. So if you want a C4, middle C, I think that is, you put C4 in there, and it'll know what the frequency is. You tell it what capacitor you've got, and it'll tell you what resistors you need. And then once you got that, since the resistors are... I've been having my set of issues with the resistors not always being as stated. 1% tolerance resistors being 10% tolerance resistors has been a common problem for me. You could put the first resistor in, measure it, and then tell the calculator what that actual value is, and it'll come back and give you a revised answer for the second resistor, which is then broken down into 3 pieces, and it gives you suggestions for what you can do if you're breaking it into 3 pieces like I am. So the calculator really is tailored to this design. And yeah, that's enough of that. I'll get to some of that soon, but I wanted to get this open and see how these came out. No reason to believe that they came out any differently. Let's see, let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. So we've got green, we've got red, and now we have black. So what I'm doing is I'm ordering these up as prototypes. Ooh, there's a slight lip on here. Not that anybody's ever going to see it. Oh, okay. That is where they... I think what they do when they're making these in the manufacturing process is they'll have them sort of lined up maybe like this on one big piece of board. Not different colors. It'd be the same color. Let's just make that obvious. So we'll put all of these together. But if you imagine them being just slightly separated, and they're all on one big board that is all a bunch of black circuit boards, and then they route around, and then when they're done with the process, they just snap them off. And so that's how you end up with a little nub on some of these and not on others. But that's easy. You just take a little piece of sandpaper and you can sand it down. So not really a quality complaint, just I don't normally notice that little nub, and here it is on this one particular one, but doesn't seem to be on the others. So I don't know what happened. They missed one. That's not a big deal. I can work with that. So I've got 3 different colors now. I can start building the reds, and I can start building the oranges, and yeah, I can start building. I don't have the ability to hang all of them yet. And what I started to say was I'm ordering only 5 of each, but that works out perfectly for my application because I need about 28 lights for what I'm doing, and I've got 7 different colors. So if you figure 7 times 4 is 28, I only need 4 of the 5, so when I'm done I'm going to have 1 extra of each of these, except for the green, which I did one as a test since these were the first boards to arrive, and for me to verify that they were working properly. I did one it's actually a green board with red LEDs. Very Christmassy. So there you go. That is a bunch of stuff that has arrived. I've got one other box to open, but I think I'll hold that one off because it's related to Musical Monday, but it's just not time yet for that. So this was mostly an unboxing video just to show you that parts are coming in and I'm starting to get things together. And yeah, with some luck, I will have something together on these boards for Freeform Friday, so you can see a little bit more building of this, and maybe by then, because I'm recording this even before Monday, maybe sometime Monday or a little bit later, I will get what I call the coupler boards, and that way I'll be able to string up more of these, and that's what the wire is about, is to have more wire for actually running between them. So lots of stuff, and I've got more coming from Alice, and more coming from JLC PCB, so there's more to come. Stay tuned.